Not a podcast.
All right, this guy's producing. This guy's
performing.
He's the talent. This
and
is
eye candy, obviously.
definition. Clearly, that's a good structure. That's something you can work with.
That's what you get when you do 6 push-ups a day.
Yeah, I've seen him do it.
Yeah, and not in a row. That's the key.
No,
it's, you don't want it to be.
You don't want to overwhelm
too much.
The ladies.
That's right. Because if I'm going to be making them laugh and talking about Jesus, I don't want to also be causing them to stumble. There's times
That's
I have
distracting.
to do the show behind a sheet,
Straight,
like a full bed sheet, because I know it's going to be too much.
Yeah.
So it's.
I've done some Mormon shows myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. Awesome.
It is.
This is good. Well, it's good to have you here. This is Bob Smiley.
What is up? I got to just start by going, I am so floored that I'm even doing it. Like one of the first podcasts that I listened to when I was in high school was this podcast, and I've never missed an episode. How long have you been doing it?
Oh gosh, time is an illusion.
Yeah.
So it's all relative. I would say, I think the first fake not podcast we did was 2019 or 2018.
Yeah, okay, so that tracks. That math works up. And yeah, I did a podcast for a little while, and it was relative to... only my relatives listened to it.
Right. Yeah.
But it brought us together, and we didn't have to travel for the family reunion. They're just like, hey, we'll just listen to Bob's podcast.
They're actually producing your podcast.
Yeah.
And they run.
But I'm telling you, man, Darren, I am floored to be here with you. I'm a huge fan.
Hey,
I'm
Bob
very
Smiley.
Smiley.com.
Yeah, check him out. He's great.
Yeah, and that's another thing I should tell you when we do a podcast is I'm not all about promotion. I can sit here and say all my social media handles are Bob Smiley Comedy, or BobSmiley.com has all my show dates. I'm not going to talk. I don't want to talk about my Average Boy book series for middle school kids who focus on the family, or the award-winning podcast, the official Average Boy podcast. I don't want to do that.
You're a great human, and you don't need to tell people that you're such a great human.
I just want to talk about like everyday life. Yeah, I've been doing stand-up for 27 years all over the country.
Right. Yeah. Packed out.
Yeah.
Auditoriums.
Huge auditoriums.
But we don't really need to even get...
And I don't have any ego, so you can ask me any question. Yes, I'm bigger than Shama.
Well, that's true. I
don't want to go into stuff like that.
Well, when you're talking about objective facts, that's just facts. You can't dispute
people can look that up online.
They will. And
Not on the internet.
No.
Just on my personal computer.
Yes. Yeah, he has his own.
In a second, I want to talk about being a professional, though. I just need to check in for my flight for tomorrow.
No. This is... Hey, well, the cool thing about that is that this is not even a podcast, so you can check your phone. You can smack gum behind the camera as much as you want. Yeah. It's cool. Like, there's no problem at all.
But I'm listening to you, Chris. I'm very focused. I'm just going to check in, but
very
you can ask me any question that you want to right now.
Well, I want to, first of all, I want to say it was really cool to see that you landed that deal with the Army surplus store to get sponsored. Yeah, for your outfits.
They only gave me one combat boot, but at the end of the year, they're going to give me the other one.
It's like a layaway situation.
Yeah.
Right. Which, that's, again, we're not here to be self-aggrandizing in any way. But, I just want to say...
Let's get on the nitty-gritty, like the behind-the-scenes of comedy and stuff. Do you guys add a credit card to your flight on the app, or do you just,
Never.
Because I think it holds me accountable not to buy stuff on the plane.
Never. I will never buy anything on any plane. Okay, no, Bob.
I'm listening.
I've heard... I'm not saying...
I'm getting upgraded to first class. Sorry, go ahead. This is...
Wait, this is not the same Bob Smiley I knew. No, I knew Bob Smiley was saving ketchup packets. That's what I heard.
I'm cheap as can be.
Yeah, you're frugal.
I'm a...
we don't use it as
and again, my ego prevents me to tell people that I'm a 2 million mile flyer on United.
Well, yeah.
But if there's an open seat, I get bumped. I've never paid for first. I will never pay for first. I barely pay for coach.
Right.
But I do get on the list now.
You just list yourself as an extra piece of luggage and try to get under the plane. I've noticed that.
Ridden in the carry-on before. Yeah.
Right. So, and all the pets. Yeah, you hang out there. That's cool, man. Well, let's see.
I had to travel with Tim Hawkins somehow, and he's not buying my other
ticket.
Right.
Yeah, and you're not going to name drop either.
I'm not going to
the cool thing about this guy, which
my best friend Toby Mack actually told me once, don't name drop. I turned to Mac Powell and I was like, because he was over mowing my lawn, and I was like, hey, is that true? He didn't hear me over the lawnmower, but he just nods because he respects me so much. But name dropping is,
as they all do,
is terrible.
Oh no, we don't recommend.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, my wife just texted me if I wanted a sandwich or nuggets, and since I'm an adult, I'm going with the sandwich.
I think I like
Did Bob know he was doing a podcast today? He's checking in for his flight.
This guy
placing lunch orders.
No, I respect the podcast format. Like I think like people need to, when you show up to do a job, you do your research. You know exactly like how to record, what you're going to record, and you know you have things in your mind that you want to talk about.
Talking points.
You need to be quick
to judge.
No.
To speak.
On your feet.
Ooh.
So where it's snappy.
Snappy.
That's that.
Like a turtle.
Like, yeah, exactly like a turtle.
Oh wait, that was a weird pause, but that's okay because it's not a podcast, so we don't have to worry about it.
Was that a weird pause for you?
No, everything is weird right now.
Okay.
Because
the pause felt like, I don't know. I felt like I was back in high school and I was asking somebody to prom because there was always that pause.
And then the rejection.
There was actually never even an answer. They just walked away. Maybe that's why I'm comfortable with the pause.
Of course. Well, you have to be. Okay, but I've seen your act. I mean, you kind of talk. You're a fast talking dude.
Yeah, because one of the things I learned about comedy, probably the most important thing.
Say the most words you can.
Is not to interrupt somebody when they're making a really good point. No, you in comics, I think you'll back me up because you're probably going to try to be a comic later.
Eventually, he's doing research.
And there goes my career. This is what comics do. We bash on each other all the time.
We don't even know each other
But
at
also
all.
there's a point where I'm like, I need to open for him.
Right. Yeah.
Point.
We're both going to be. We're both vying for that spot. So that's what's happening right here.
No, I talk very fast on stage because you don't get your check until you're done. So if I can just check, please. I do that. And no, I do. I did a show early in the years. I was doing Spirit West Coast. I just dropped that name. And I did that festival.
They're not going to call me back. So
yeah, they're definitely not calling you back. But I did a late night tent show with Darren Streblow.
Oh yeah.
And growing up, being a huge fan of Winnie the Pooh, like all of a sudden have Eeyore right in front of me. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is Darren Streblow.
Yeah.
And I went up and I did 45-minute set, and I'm just like slinging jokes. I'm like, stop laughing. I have these words I need to get out.
Laughs per minute.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah. And then he actually timed me, and at one point I hit 24 laughs per minute because it was just I do.
Again, not here to brag.
Not to brag at all, but a record.
But Cat Williams has never done that. Okay,
that's
cool.
right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then it was so great. And then I introduced Darren because I'm like, Chuck E. Cheese, my grandmother. And then Darren walks up and he goes, "Well, this is going to be different." And it was just but
you got to reset the room. You got to reset the room.
Right. And he told me afterwards, he was like, "Do you realize you're doing 2 hours of material in 45 minutes?" And then after that moment, I slowed down. What else would you like to talk about?
You can. You got Shama cracking up.
I'm glad
that's
because
amazing.
Again, I'm going to need to open for him.
Yeah, that's good. This is our audition for Shama right now. This is our audition for him.
Yeah,
is what this is actually. Yeah. That's how this works. Well, cool, man. Yeah, because again, it's not a podcast, so everything can change in an instant. AI. What's up with AI?
My neighbor.
Yeah, that guy's.
Yes, he seems so fake to me. Sometimes he's a baby. Sometimes he's
right. I noticed that
AI. Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are starting to use AI for their writing process.
For comedy?
Yeah, but not to write the actual jokes. And I think this.
Have you tried doing that before?
For a second.
Have you tried that before? To ask AI to write a joke?
Well, because here's the other problem. It helps a lot of my comedy friends, but I've got talent.
See, that's what I was.
It is a hard time when I sit down, I'm like, I can write an hour special, or I can get lost on the internet, watching people do videos of, hey, I want to be the new lead singer of the Newsboys, hacky stuff like that.
Right.
I'm also free in October too. I can open for you in September, but then also October.
They start doing the K-Love Fan Awards. Next thing you know, they're selling out.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
of course.
Just, it's so ridiculous.
Not selling out arenas. I'm saying selling out their souls.
Yeah, their souls.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, because it's the Christian industry. Nobody sells out arenas. Come on.
Okay.
There's a question in the back.
I also don't mess with AI because I want to preserve the crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
I want unadulterated crazy.
Yeah, you can't have too much structure. You can't have too much.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So here's how they use that. They will put in a topic and then say write 4 jokes about Budweiser or whatever, and they'll print up and then that's a starting point.
So this is a Catholic church.
It's a Catholic church.
Okay.
And then that's a starting point, and then they'll write their own jokes, but it helps them get in the mindset. But I agree with you that I think it would limit me, because when I sit down and pick a topic that I'm going to write about, I'm just brainstorming so fast about all the different venues that I could go down, and I feel like if I have these 4 jokes, it kind of limits my brain on what I'm going to write about, because it's going to be, here are the 4 paths, and you got to stay on that. So it does. It limits the chaos, I think.
I agree. Well, I'm glad we're all not hacks here, except for.
And I don't really have a computer. I have a speak and spell.
Yes.
But the battery.
You have a Lightbright. You use that.
The Lightbright is great. For my presentations, and that's how people introduce me when I walk out on stage. Mm-hmm. They do the Lightbright.
Like some places, they have a marquee, big old sign, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah. That's all you can really fit.
It's always Tim Hawkins and Time Remaining, Bob Smiley.
Yeah. If you don't get bumped because he wants to do another song or something, or.
He always wants to do another song. Yeah. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, did you just bring me out on the tour bus to clean the bathrooms? And he's like, no, you'll eventually get on stage. Just keep. You missed a spot under the bowl, but we all pay our dues.
That's it.
The other thing I love about podcasts is you can tell when people are enthralled by how they like if they take out their phone.
Right. They're not if they're filming and they're producing and they're listening to audio to make sure we're not.
Like if they have one job,
right, just one,
and you see them pulling out their phone,
I'm producing,
and you're playing Candy Crush.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Is that? I've never taken a producer, class, but do they say to do that? Like when there's a lull, you just pull out your phone.
Well, it's a new generation.
Play Clash Royale.
This is
not a sponsor.
Not at all.
But hopefully.
No. Well, actually, they sent me a cease and desist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Seriously, I don't even know him. Clash Royale. I would love to get it. I'm trying to get a sponsorship. So if I need to separate.
Okay, so for him, I'm saying, we might have to not have a relationship as friends anymore, which we just started yesterday. So
I just met Richard, and I do not know you very well.
We're here at a conference. What have you learned today and yesterday from this conference?
That there is a 3 donut limit. They just lay the donuts out, and
I noticed
everybody get a donut, but then you take your third, and they're like, no.
Well, yeah, because it's sponsored by the Baptists, I think that's what happened. So they got out of hand.
Yeah,
and so maybe.
And the water bottles, I'm like, oh, they're communion water bottles. They're like
right.
Little cups.
No, they don't want you hydrated.
And stuff,
no, they want you thirsty for.
The
word. That's it. Yeah.
I love candid photos.
It is a Christian comedy conference.
It is a Christian comedy conference, and
Get my jawline in here. I need to make sure. I've been doing the Jawzrsize. You seen those?
No.
It's not a sponsor either, but I would like to connect with Jawzrsize.com.
Are there classes? They all come in.
And they're affiliates, and Jawzrsize's affiliates.
All right. Chomp, come on. Push through the pain.
It's kind of like a hot dog eating contest, technically, but that's fine. Yeah. It works them out, No, and but they really do.
Side to side, and
they like Jazzercise. Yeah. Jazzercise for your jaw. Okay, no, but they have these.
You lay a little mat down for your chin.
You gotta get the alignment.
Yeah,
it's good. No, they have these little rubber balls that you put in your mouth. You just kind of chew. It's like a rubber, just like you're chewing on rubber. Yeah, it's like a door stopper, basically.
Have they tried my wife's cooking? Hey,
hello. Speaking of divorce,
let's talk about divorce. If there's a good lawyer out there listening,
Yeah, wow.
DM me.
Yeah, Morgan and Morgan and Morgan.
No, don't DM me on my social media handles, which is Bob Smiley Comedy. But
Bob Smiley Comedy. Yeah, that's how we connected, was on the old World Wide Web there.
That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you DM me under what is your Switchfoot? I think was the name of your
Switchfoot
Instagram.
Yeah.
So fool me once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dare you to move, into my DMs is what I said. Yeah.
Kind of regretting saying yes to any of this, but
it's there's no budget for this, is the point.
Really?
So that water, you're actually gonna have to. There's an invoice that you'll be getting on the way out. They're gonna.
That's not water. Oh. That is the Christian comedian's water.
Hello.
Okay.
What about performance enhancers that you're taking?
You've got about 30 seconds before the buzz hits.
That's okay. What kind of performance enhancers are you taking to keep this physique that we're talking about?
I've talked about this publicly. I'm taking Neosporin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a game changer. I've heard. Yeah. If you clump it on like really thick, it does show like it looks.
Because your skin is usually already translucent, but then with the Neosporin, it kind of amplifies the energy.
My skin is
and it heals all the sunburns, which is good. It's important.
When my wife and I first got married, she gave me 10 tanning bed coupons. Which I don't even like to leave my toast in the toaster.
What a subtle little hint there.
Well, here's why she did this. And this is totally true. And I did not bring this story up for this, but my official Average Boy podcast for parents to listen to with their kids won an award because it was nominated. So naturally, it won.
I don't know if I have enough memory in my computer for you to plug any more stuff. Go ahead.
Are you recording?
I don't know if he is.
I thought we were just... No, because you're recording on a phone, but I see him playing games on that phone. He's swiping and tapping.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, though. By the way.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
He's doing cookie tap on there, and but anyway, in the third grade, we moved to Weatherford. What was I talking about?
That's a good question. No, you're promoting another thing. You're plugging something else.
Oh, the reason why she got me the tanning bed coupons is we went out to Colorado Springs in the winter, and we decided to take a family photo out in the snow, and I did not show up in the photo because of my
you just blended right in. That's camouflage.
Yeah,
natural.
So she got me tanning bed coupons to go, and we had just gotten married, so it was that awkward I was not going to do it. And you're supposed to wear a Speedo. Did you know that?
It was awkward. You were not going to get married?
I was already married.
Oh, literally cold feet.
Yeah, no, this was, she was trying to warm the feet up to get me. So that's why she wanted to put me in the tanning bed.
Right, there you go.
But yeah.
What were you wearing?
You were supposed to wear a Speedo, but
we don't want anybody to stumble.
We just got married. Yeah, I don't want anybody to stumble.
No.
But when I wear a Speedo, I do lunges, if that helps.
That's good. That does help.
But I had to go to her, and we were just newly married, and I had to go to her and say, hey, look, I'm not. And now on the little coupon, it did say we suggest the clothing, and I was like, first of all, we both know I'm not going to wear that, and second of all, I don't want to lay in a sun coffin. I said, I appreciate it, but I'm not going to do it. So anyway, the next day I was headed to the tanning salon because I'm married and do whatever. But I remember walking. Have you ever done it? Never? Come on.
Let's get Shama in this shot. Let's get him in the shot. Are you okay?
This is the person.
So this is just okay. All right.
For reference.
Yeah. It's a melanin joke.
I'm trying to include everyone. That's all.
It's amazing.
This conference is about unity, and I didn't want to leave you out.
It really is.
And
this is you have to be inclusive.
I don't know where the story's going. Anyway, I walked into the tanning salon, and I live in a snooty town, and the lady was like, because redhead, and is it first time at a tanning salon? And I was like, yeah, why? Because I'm so white, and then she's like, no, because we have dressing rooms. You don't have to wear the Speedo in here. But anyway,
I heard about this on the sheriff's office website. Yeah, that was
cool. It was a lot of detaining. Was the word I learned. So
correct.
So I listen to this podcast all the time, and I love the format and the planning. So do you want to get to
which is great.
Fast 5 questions?
Fast 5. All right, we're here with Bob Smiley in the Fast 5. That's what we're doing. And so the first Fast 5 question is going to be fast, and it's going to be a total of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
questions.
Good.
Okay. All right.
And again, your professionalism, I just like ever since I've been watching this since I was in 3rd grade, is that you're prepared. So I can tell like a lot of people would be stalling to give you time to think of 5 questions, but not you. You're ready to go.
First 5 question is first 5 of the Fast 5. First 5 of the Fast 5.
Okay.
All right. What is your daily affirmation?
I look to see if Shama likes any of my photos. That's my
Exactly.
That's my.
He's
daily.
actually blocked me on social media.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've never had a daily affirmation yet.
Okay.
But I'm hoping.
Hey, pray about it. That's fun. Okay.
He's not reaching for his phone.
No, which
really
is unusual behavior.
Very
for this guy,
unusual for
right?
this producer, this professional producer.
Yeah. Well.
Okay, so that's
what's the number one thing you hate about self promotion?
I want people to know that since my comedy show is so great, I don't want them to think that I have to promote myself. People are going to go to bobsmiley.com without me saying it. And so whenever people are like, hey, please tell people where to find you, I'm like, They know how to find me.
Exactly. They already know. That's
why do I need to do that? So I don't like that self-promotion.
Yeah, when you're
check
such a
out all
big
my
name.
comedy specials, my 3 dry bar specials and stuff like that. They don't need to hear that.
They don't. No.
They're already doing it.
It's natural. I mean, that's what Shama may have been doing on his phone earlier.
Well, yeah.
That was
Is that
probably
what you were doing?
He's like, wait, who's this guy again?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, all right, let's see. Fast 5. Where are we at? 3? Oh, man.
You've asked me
biggest,
2, so 2 left.
Worst gig ever.
Worst gig ever. McMinnville, Tennessee, during the Super Bowl, year 2 of doing stand-up.
I thought you said year 2 of the Super Bowl because you're pretty, aging yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah. Does anybody need me? Because I'm kind of done. Kind of done here.
It was the regular bowl when
It was,
Bob...
It was just a bowl.
It was just a bowl.
See, Shama, we need this.
Yeah.
We need this. Yeah, that's what we're asking for here.
Anyway, it was the Leatherheads
Yeah.
against the Amish.
The Amish Football League. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it wasn't
AFL.
televised. I don't know why.
Right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have think. No, they were showing the Super Bowl.
But the seats were very well built.
They were very well built.
I noticed that. Yeah.
And you got free honey. Like it was a pretty good little deal there. Yeah. They were showing the Super Bowl on a giant 12-foot screen in the church for the youth group, but they didn't want the youth group to see the commercials. So they hired me to jump up on stage and do stand-up.
Arguably the best part of the Super Bowl commercials.
Not arguably, if I know what the word arguably means.
I'm not here to argue with anybody.
Yeah, okay. Then that's
Except for
not
that
what
guy.
I saw out in the hallway, but that's why we have a new producer.
That's why I have a new producer.
Yeah. So trial basis.
Oh, man.
And you can't hire him full time because he's about to take me out on tour.
That's true. Yeah.
Are we ready to announce that?
Whenever you're ready, Bob.
He says off camera.
It's the Bob and Shama.
I love how contractually
This
this is a contractual verbal contract that's also going on the World Wide Web.
But no, they wanted me to jump up and do stand up as soon as a commercial came on and until the commercials were done. So there's no way to time that. There's no way to do it. And the other thing is they didn't turn the screen off. They just turned the sound off. Oh, so I'm jumping up there going, hey, let me finish that story about my grandmother that I started earlier. But then the kids are watching the screen behind me going, what are those frogs doing? I can see their mouthing, what's up? And so it was a nightmare. And then toward the end, the youth leader who also had a countryman so he could walk around, he thought it'd be funny to start heckling me.
The youth leader
who hired me for the
who
event.
Hired you to be the professional
And I don't
comedian.
know why I said yes, but $50 is $50. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And he started heckling me, and so I don't know why I did this because I'm such a nice guy. I mean, people have said, you're about to say that I'm the nicest guy.
Most people have said that.
Yeah. In this room, most people.
Most of the majority.
Yeah. But I just buried him. I just had it, and I just went after him. And all of a sudden, like, he's staring at me as I'm just going at
going hard.
And he just takes his headset off, and he just walks out. And I was like, oh.
We have not heard from that guy. He's actually, that's an unsolved mystery.
I
actually
do not think he's still with us.
Wow. That's a real tragedy.
If you clown a youth pastor into submission, do you become the youth pastor?
Yeah, you have to.
That is the culture.
Step up. That is.
Yeah, it's kind of like ancient Rome.
That is the lore.
That's how that was.
That's
for
so
sure.
Good.
That's for sure. That's good. Mm-hmm. What does your shirt mean?
I was in a claymation Christmas movie.
Oh, more self-promotion. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't even know I was getting into.
I was waiting for him to ask. I've been just sitting here the whole time, like.
In June, mind you.
Yeah, coming out in June. My Christmas. No, it came out last December. It's called Steal the Naughty List. I play one of the two main characters. I play Lowell the Snowman. Again, very white, typecasting. Like,
what's up with that?
Yeah. So, and it's just it's kind of a Wizard of Oz knockoff of this cast of misfits, like trying to find the meaning of Christmas.
Okay, that's cool.
It came out in December. It was really fun. It was really cool. Steal the Naughty List is what I will not be promoting.
Right
on here.
Yeah, right. You don't want to promote the Steal the Naughty List. Okay, but but if they did want to find Steal the Naughty List, I'm just assuming they would already be on Bob Smiley.
They would already be definitely on BobSmiley.com.
Yeah, of course. All right, the ink, man. We're all curious about that ink on your arm. I kind of forgot I was still podcasting. Yeah, I know. I do the same thing. I've done that several times. Shama actually forgets. He's been forgetting the whole time because he's been on his phone.
Well, he just got hired, so this is new.
That's true.
I think he got maybe a day.
I got a day on the job.
Day on the job. What's the ink? What's the ink there?
Oh, this is the ink. These are my kid. I'm married.
This is not a progressive.
These are my kids' names: Coulter, Trent, Xander, Dylan, Mason. So those are all my kids' names. My great grandfather, Henry Pavido. He was a huge influence on my life. Like, I was very fortunate to have my great grandfather in my life up until like my sophomore year in college. Just an amazing dude. He was the fire chief of Austin, Texas. Okay. Just a great dude. He would smoke cigars, so he's not a Christian.
Very not Christian.
And but he would go and sit out on his back porch twice a day and smoke a cigar. And I would hang out with him, and he had a pocket watch. He was the old school. And he would let me wind.
I respect a man with a pocket watch. Yeah. Like, instant respect.
And so twice a day, I would wind his pocket watch while I was sitting there, listening to his stories while he smoked his little cigars. And so when he died, he left me the pocket watch. And so that's the tattoo.
Cool. But then you lost it, so you had to get the tattoo.
And so I have to get the tattoo. So I sold it.
Well, obviously, I'm
a Christian comedian. Right. I needed the money. I can't just do Super Bowl youth group shows all the time.
That's amazing. Those are the only shows I get. Actually,
here's the other thing: the guy who was doing the tattoo, and I wanted to ask him to touch it up, but that van was gone when I went back. But he was like, "What do you want the hands to be on?" And so the hands are actually my anniversary, my wedding anniversary.
Oh, very cool.
So now I'll never forget. Like, I can just look down. And
the first wife, right?
No, this is the second one.
Oh, okay,
this
good,
is the one
good.
that counts. This
so
is the
you
one
updated
that actually,
the time on there. Yeah.
I had to move. I had to move. Next time I'm doing digital. On the third one, I'm going to do digital. But yeah, that's the So that's what those inks are. This one, do you know this cartoon?
The frog guy, it's the Froggy and the Froggerses.
Yeah. I don't know. I know this?
No, he'd come out and he'd be tap dancing.
Do you know this cartoon?
He'd be out tap dancing, and he has,
hello, my baby.
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
Well, now we can't post this on YouTube because
there's copyright. I've already...
Okay, so here's the story behind that.
This is not even running, dude. How long has that been happening?
No. You just unplugged it just now.
Oh, you sure?
Not a podcast, though.
Wait a minute.
You sure?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Can we unplug this and be done? You tell me 3 hours into this?
This is amazing, dude. All right. So tell me, okay, so it's the frog, the guy.
So the commercial, the
Hello,
cartoon.
My baby. Hello, my darling.
He was this performer, but he only wanted to perform when he wanted to perform.
Oh, that's
right.
So
growing up, I was the funny guy, and people always were like, Hey, there's a Bob Smiley. He's funny. But they would say BobSmiley.com. It was annoying because I was like, stop promoting.
Internet doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, it didn't. This was before.
You and what was it?
My friend.
Al Gore?
It was, yeah.
You got together?
I was on the cusp of that. Now,
right.
But my friend, I'll just make up a name. Well, it was a Teddy Ruxpin. It was not a real friend.
Right.
But anyway, he what was I talking about? Oh, dude, so people would always want me to be like, hey, come in and be the life of the party. And I was like, can I just be me and just be funny when I want to be funny? So I always really liked that cartoon.
That's cool.
So kind of like
the subtext there.
As comedians, like you want it to be your voice and you want it to be on your terms and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm a Batman fan. So those are my ink. And then I've got 2 on my back. I've got a cross and then I've got the state of Texas because I'm from Texas.
So what do you have to say when you go to do a church gig and they're like, wait, we only let Christians on stage?
That actually doesn't happen. Oh, this is serious. I'm going to actually be serious for a second.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I waited forever before I got arm tattoos because like churches like didn't. I toured.
I legitimately thought of that. I was like, some churches might not be cool.
It is not an issue now. I used to tour with the Supertones.
Yeah, you got another name to okay.
Name there. Yeah. I would tour the Supertones, and they were on the cover of a Christian magazine, and I was on tour with them when it came out, and they were all excited. And it was very movie-esque as they get the box of the magazines, and they open it up, and they had because they're all sleeves and stuff.
Right.
And they had photoshopped all the tattoos off the arms for the magazine cover.
For their promo.
And the Supertones were like, where's all our ink? And it was a thing.
That is wild.
But the magazine actually took off all the ink to put this magazine out to church and stuff. But now I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah,
like I don't,
Yeah. So, okay, final question. This is the bonus question. Bonus round. Bonus round. And
I need a new manager.
What would you say? All right, so what would you have to say to, let's say, some young aspiring comedians who haven't done comedy for 27 years, who maybe are awesome at social media and are super funny, but are not really professional because they're always looking at their phone when they're working? What would you have to say to those? What would you have to say to someone like that?
What's sad is he wasn't going hey because of what you were saying. He just leveled up.
Yeah, he did
on his phone, and he just was like, "Hey!"
Yeah, he wasn't even looking this way.
Yeah,
no.
That's so sad. If you're going to call yourself a comedian, make sure you have a show, have
an act.
Material. It's great that you have followers. I'd hope to one day.
We're looking into that.
Yeah, but it's great. But if you don't want people to come to your stand-up comedy show expecting greatness, and then you haven't worked on that part of your career.
Well, it's not fair to the audience probably at that point.
And it's not fair to me because I could have been there doing that gig.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I think
I'm also open in November.
Yeah.
So September, October, and November.
And you can actually, now I notice when I go to BobSmileyComedy.com or BobSmiley.com. When I go to Bob Smiley,
it's his homepage.
Sorry, it is my homepage. That's why. When I go there, I notice that it just forwards me to Shama's webpage now.
Yeah, well, because that's where our show dates are going to be.
That's where all your show dates are.
Right.
That's cool, and I like that. Yeah, but no, I think Shama is funny in his own right too. Mm-hmm. And I wish he would have contributed more.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
I had that regular bowl comment. Remember?
That was a good comment. That was solid.
You did.
We did like
that out.
We are. That's not going in.
Okay.
We know that. Yeah.
We'll
okay. All right.
remove that.
Well, thank you, Bob. I appreciate you being here. And this is not a podcast. So I think on 3, we're just going to say this is not a podcast. 1, 2, 3. This is not a...
BobSmiley.com.
Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome.
That was fun, right?
That was really good.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Get Obama.
That really is.
It really is.
I thought you were being funny because I was like, that's not Obama.
That's a real
that
thing.
is
That's
a
real thing
horrible rendition.
Real thing we saw.
That really is Obama.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm seeing if I can name everybody while I wait for him to stop recording. That's not gonna be.
No.
Now this guy wants to work.
It's start in the top right corner.
That is Martin Luther King Jr. When you know him as well as I do.
That's
right.
That's true. You don't even have to be
Junior.
formal. He's not formal. Calls him Marty.
There is Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X. There is 2 guys that have questions, but nobody's calling on them. Right there. Those 2 guys.
Nobody's calling on them. Yeah,
nobody's calling on them.
They've been ignored.
There is a lady with a shotgun. So she's bird hunting. Yeah, in the middle of a photo shoot. That's a little awkward. Come sneaking through.
That other guy, he was like, he's keeping an eye on her.
Guys, I put this painting here. I was like, this is going to be a pop quiz
on how this is called how much of an ally are you?
This is my test to see if I can tour with you.
It's like, and you better name them all.
You better name them all.
I haven't heard Bob Marley.
Yes.
Can you point him out?
Bob Marley. There's Bob Marley. Oprah Winfrey. The lean years.
That's lean years. That was Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers Oprah.
So Muhammad Ali, Rosa Parks. Dude, don't tell me. Not Sharpton. Golly. Jim.
Time out. No, just
Was it? He's a Reverend. What's his name? He's like.
Malcolm X?
No, this dude right here.
Is it Al Sharpton?
I grew up watching him. No, that's not Al Sharpton.
Watch me not know.
Like
Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson.
All right, we're not fired now.
I'm done. I'm not gonna torture you guys anymore.
That was brutal.
You popped off. You had enough.
Yeah. No, that was fun though. I think we got some good stuff. Something, you know.
Not a podcast.